Hey everyone, my name is Ty Jankowski, and in this video we are going to look at the import and rendering parameters in the Solar System Houdini digital asset. Now, if you haven't already picked up the Houdini digital asset, you can pick it up on my Gumroad. There is a link in the description. This is a live 3D solar system for within Houdini. So imagine you are the lovely test piece of geometry here that comes with Houdini. His name is Tommy. Imagine you are Tommy and you're standing here on the system origin and you're looking out into the night sky. This is the sky that you will see. Now, if you turn on normal lighting in the Houdini viewport, this is the actual lighting perspective of the night sky. And if you look through the moon camera, this is what it actually looks like. Now, it's not particularly interesting right now because the moon, even in real life, at this very moment from Berlin, is not very interesting. It's basically a waxing crescent, but it's a super waxing crescent, and it's really dark. That's also why the sun is black, because it is being illuminated from within. So if you wanted to now render these pieces of geometry, you can use all of these import parameters. So we're going to discuss all of that in this video, but before we get into that, please be sure to like and subscribe. You can click down here to subscribe to my channel for more videos and tools. Now, let's look at the import settings. So the solar system itself is this node that kind of lives on its own, and the intention is that this node is something that you never ever should need to go inside of. You don't. It contains a bunch of stuff and a bunch of stuff that maybe you don't need. Perhaps you just want to grab the moon and you just want to like just render that and just be done with it. Then all you have to do is grab like that specific object or that particular camera, and then you're like, that's it. So this is, and then it, I'll just show you. So like, let's grab the geo. So you click import all geo, and now what this does, and particularly because there are so many third-party render engines out there, there's just so many, like I cannot pre-build all of their extra variables that they throw on to these tabs to make sure that every single render engine is working. I can't put all of those objects into some HDA, and all you have to do is click the button that says render with Redshift, render with another object, with another render engine. This is just this node just creates the data, and it outputs that data into other geometry containers and into Houdini. So inside of here, this is now the actual accessible geo. This here is basically just viewport visualization of what's happening in the solar system. You're not supposed, if you wanted to render this, yes, you could just go grab here, set this in your mantra ROP or whatever ROP output driver you're using to render, grab these cameras and get going and start rendering. However, if you would want to use third-party render engines, or you want to do more stuff, you want to modify that data, you want to do something unique or your own, you can just go ahead and grab all that information, and you cannot just only grab that information at object level, but you can grab that information not at just SOP level, which is here. So this is all the data, and if you were to click points, you can see these are all the points. This is the data. This is the geo. You can also grab the orbits. So if you want to render these as, say, hair, it's going to create all of the pieces of render geometry. And in here, if you want to isolate, say, the sun, you have all of these groups here. So let's just grab this, blast that out. Venus, delete not selected. There's Venus. Copy that over, and you should have your Venus orbit by name. Yes. Name, Venus. There you go. So now you can go and do whatever you want with the geo. Like, you have it all accessed here. If you just want to render it, you have full control now of this information. So perhaps you then want that specific camera, but you want to, change the focal length, you want to change the perspective. I've just kind of set up defaults that I think are interesting. There are sky cameras, so you can see the southern sky as it crosses the sky, and you can import all of these cameras here. So let's grab the southern sky, and it's just going to bring that out. And if you want to change the focal length, change the parameters of it, go ahead. If you want to throw on, exactly like third-party render engine attributes, this is going to allow you to just have your access data from the solar system. The solar system is still there in the background, doing the work of importing and updating all of the geo here. And in some particular cases, it's also updating, say, if you were to grab the moon and rivet. So this is going to be grabbing the moon camera here. And if we were to display everything off and we were to show this rivet, this is actually the information of where that moon is at object space. So you can parent things underneath it here in object space if you wanted to. Like, for example, you could make cameras, you could make specific lights, you could point really big, soft area lights from the sun to the moon, and you can really just, have a lot of control. You can do a bunch of constraints. This is going to let you, at object level, do whatever you want without ever having to go inside of the solar system HDA, because it's just like going into a whole spider web of another person's digital asset and looking for exactly what you want is just kind of annoying sometimes. So this just extracts everything that you could really need, and it allows you to create almost, from like scratch, but not necessarily from scratch, because it's just, they're just simple, empty geometry containers where you can start from and do whatever you want to that information, light it however you want, render it however you want. It just creates all those things for you out here to have fun with. Now, after you have all that stuff imported, there's just one other thing I would like to mention, is that also there is system data that you can extract from the solar system HDA. So you can get, like, if you were to type in, say, Berlin, you get out the locations, the latitude, longitude, you get all of the altitudes of the celestial objects, and you can, just copy that that data if you do copy parameter, and you can put those into, say, like FontSops, and you can build you can grab that information, you can build like cool visualizers, you can build like you can extract that information and create imagery procedurally and programmatically of the solar system, and have access to all that data and present that self to the user, or have it potentially affect whatever you decide to do with the information that you extract from the solar system digital asset. So this should just be considered a kind of data generator, and then this is going to go and create all the things that you want to work with out over here. There's the Earth, and you can see the origin is actually right here on Berlin. If we change that to, see, we're no longer even visualizing this, we're just seeing the Earth, but it's still doing all of its computation there. Let's go to Tokyo, and you can see now the Earth is going to update and take us to Tokyo, which is on the dark side now. So if we turn off, which is the nighttime in Tokyo, so if we turn off the headlight, we'll see that's Tokyo. So it is as if you are standing on the Earth in Tokyo if you are Tommy. And that is the importing and accessing of data and information from the solar system HDA. Now, I know that there's a lot of other parameters that aren't discussed in this video, and that's exactly the reason, because there's a whole bunch of stuff to talk about and discuss with this HDA, and I have a bunch of other videos where I go over that. So please go ahead and check my YouTube for all those other videos, and if you haven't already picked up the solar system HDA, you can grab it on my Gumroad. Again, there's a link in the description to pick up the live 3D solar system. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe for more, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.